serve is not something we quite practice enough, at least not here in Europe. Not that the serve gets so much more attention, but the fact that it's such a complex movement at least reminds us that we need to dedicate some specific slots of time in order to get it to a point where it's at least decent. Which doesn't happen with the return of serve, as the perception is that it's just a ground stroke like any other. So the result is that your return of serve is all up to you. Your reactivity, your instinct, your experience, they make up your return. This whole story just to tell you that lately I did a huge discovery that I just can't keep for myself any longer. I need to tell somebody because it's like, oh my god, why didn't anyone tell me before? So now I'm going to stretch a bit or I'll never recover from today's practice. And in the meanwhile, I will tell you what happened the day of my breakthrough. And feel free to join me. You know, stretching doesn't hurt. A couple of months ago, Dom, my coach, invites me to a practice. And as always, he doesn't tell me with whom. Sometimes he just acts so mysterious. And once I get there and find out who's going to be my practice buddy, I'm like, what the I don't know who she is or how she plays, but she's just so freaking tall that she scares the hell out of me right away. And don't laugh. I later find out that she's 185 meters tall. And I'm just 158 meters short. So wouldn't you be scared if you were me? Of course you would. Anyway, the practice goes super well. She is nice and everything, but her serve is a bomb. In fact, while we warm up serves and return, before playing some tiebreaks at the end of the practice, I just keep repeating myself. Okay, Elena, you are screwed. Either you find a way to return those bombs, or you find a way. You don't want to be aced every other serve, do you? So I start experimenting with different positions for my return of serve, thinking that maybe if I tweak a bit where I stand, then I'll have a better chance to catch those bombs. Obviously, I first try my usual position, that is, feet slightly behind the baseline with the split step, a slide inside the baseline. Ouch! Since the ball is not on the rise anymore, when I hit it, I feel all the 170 kilometers per hour on my racket, and oh boy, if they are heavy. Plus, when she hits a good angle, there's just no way I can get to the ball on time, it's just too fast. So then I take a few steps backward and go much further back, with feet very much behind the baseline and with the split step still behind the baseline. And guess what? Yes, I do have more time to get to the ball, but when she hits the corner, there's actually a much bigger distance I have to cover. So in reality, things get worse, not better, and I get aced so many times that it feels unreal. So at this point, I don't have much choice. I have to collect all my courage and place myself well inside the baseline. And let me tell you, that's quite scary. But when things get tough, the tough start playing, right? And spam, there it is, the solution to my problem. I thought the closer I got, the harder it would be to go with those 170 kilometers, but it actually gets easier. If you think about it, of course it does. You make it much harder for your opponent to ace you. Even though she has great angles with her serve, by standing closer, you have a much better chance to get to the ball on time, as the distance you have to cover is shorter than if you were further back. You put pressure on your opponent. By standing closer, you are sending her a clear message that you are not afraid of her serve. Not at all. And a message like that can go a long way, trust me. She might feel threatened by your confidence and start doubting her serve. Or she might take it as a challenge and start to overhit. Either cases, double faults are just around the corner, you know. You hurry your opponent. By standing closer and taking the ball earlier, you are taking precious time away from her. So the faster she hits her serve, the faster she needs to get ready for your return. In practice, you are stealing her weapon and using it against her, and leave her wondering if she should just start serving slower or keep going with her fast serve. You can find a winner or force an error right away. In fact, you don't need much else other than good reactivity to get a quick point with your return. By standing closer and taking the ball earlier, you set yourself up for a speedy return, no matter how clean you'll hit the ball. And as long as your ball lands in the court, you can be sure that your opponent will have some trouble. So, I'm telling you, it is worth it to stand a bit closer on your return of serve. 100%. And if you think it's a bit counterintuitive, then give it a try and see for yourself. You will probably feel a bit uncomfortable at first. That's normal. Just grit your teeth, and before you know it, you'll be able to return those serves that used to be aces. I promise. And voila! That's all for this video. I really hope that this little story about my discovery encourages you to experiment a little bit more on the tennis court, especially when you are in trouble, because as you can see, there's always a way. You just need to figure it out. So, if you now can't wait to get on the court and try some new little tweaks here and there, then like this video and subscribe to my channel so I know you are. And I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!